Hey guys, today we're at the Hope philodendron inside. I wanted to share a little bit of footage on a couple things that I thought were weird, and especially on philodendron that grow different from other plants. This one here does produce leaves in two different ways, which I will point out. You can see here in the center, it does have a weird looking stalk. It almost looks like a petiole that lost its leaf. That's not what it is. It is a new leaf forming inside a sheath. The sheath is made out of just like leaf material. It's made to split open. It does have a crease in it, and it's there to protect the leaf so it doesn't get any damage and doesn't dry out or get crispy while it's being formed. Because remember, these things aren't lobed. We're supposed to be. They don't always lobe. This one here, I thought I was getting a smaller version of a split leaf philodendron, which I guess technically it is, but it's still about 3.5 feet round. It's pretty big, and you have to keep that in mind when you're buying plants. Do your research. Plants share names. They have a version of this that is called Little Hope, and I thought I was getting Hope, which was a little philodendron. I didn't know there was a Little Hope. So, make sure you know what you're buying and what you want, because it might be something that you end up having to get rid of because it's too big, and no one wants that, especially after you've put years of love and attention into a plant. These can be propagated by cuttings because they do grow into a stalk, a tree form. That will continue to put out leaves from the center and grow taller and taller and taller. Online it says they usually top out in households from 5 to 12 feet, so keep that in mind as well. They will, when they're at that point, these leaves or the stalks, the petioles, will be about 4 feet long, 4 to 5 feet long, so this thing will be taking up some space. Here you can see I have a smaller one, still about 3 feet around. This one does have a little bit more character because it does have some droopiness going on there on the leaves. I put this one in my kitchen. I have a little part of my counter that I can see from the living room, and when I put it there, these two leaves here hug the wall and hang into the living room, which I think gives a nice effect. You can see this leaf here is a little messed up. It is in the walkway and we tend to hit it, so I think that's why it's curling like that, because none of the others are doing that, so it's not a moisture issue. You can see this leaf is got some character. It's not exactly as striking as the others, but when I did divide it, that's how I got this one. You can see here it put out some leaves for a bit that weren't as glamorous. Even this one here, you can see where it wanted to have some lobing but didn't. They won't morph after they come out, like it'll grow in size, but it's not gonna develop lobes like that. It's gonna look like that, just bigger, maybe a little bit darker, and the stalk or petiole that it's on will grow longer before it yellows and falls off. Now remember I said they can grow from two different ways. One is the sheaths. Here you can see there's still a couple that are forming and about to do their thing. This one here you can actually see where it is raising. But on this one you can see where the sheath peels back, browns, and I leave them until they just pull out. I mean, it doesn't harm the plant or anything. It's a little ugly, but I don't see an issue with it. And you can see this long whip here too. Again, another sheath protecting a leaf in there. It will unfurl. They don't all look the same. That's what I'm trying to get at here. They do send out some weird looking things from time to time, so don't go cutting off something that you don't know what it is. It could be a bloom, it could be a new leaf. You have to get familiar with the plant first in order to be making those kind of calls. But this one here, you can see, does have this center leaf that I'm moving here. If we follow it all the way down, you can see it comes out next to the parent plant here. And that will be a new little pup. And that's how I divided these. They are easiest and most commonly propagated by pups. Now some people do go and they'll hack the top off of their plant or cut it into pieces and use sections with aerial roots and or leaves to propagate. I've heard of that. I thought at one point I was doing that, and I went and cut off a piece, and it was beautiful in water. It lasted for almost 6 months, I think, but it never developed any leaves, and there's no chance, or roots, there was no chance of it. So I mean, I didn't know that at first. I thought, oh, it's a philodendron, I can propagate those, no problem. They're not all the same. Make sure you do your research. You can see this one here too. This is the reason why I don't cut off leaves, because this one produced a leaf by opening a third the way up like a monstera does, and unfurling a leaf that way. Like I say, because it was in shock from being divided and not getting the nourishment and water from the root system that it shared with the mother plant, they did kind of come out a little smaller and uglier, but I mean, hey, no one's got to look the same, and beauty isn't in us all being identical. Here we have another plant that I wanted to show that is a elephant ear Alocasia or taro. This one, again, it did have a crispy leaf that dried up on it. You can see that brown part there at the bottom. And I left it because I know these come out of a stalk similar to this. So if I would have taken it off, it probably would have set the plant back about a month or two in growth. And you really don't want that, so just be patient. Might be a little ugly. I didn't know that alocasias have a dormant period, and I was struggling with it all winter, and I was on myself because I thought I was doing something wrong, and I wasn't. That's just what they do. Here you can see my imperial red philodendron is starting to unfurl a leaf as well. This one's a little more dramatic and tears the sheath open. I guess, you know, royalty and drama, hand in hand sometimes. But there you go. There are a couple examples of how and where leaves come from and what they look like before they do come out. They, like I say, they don't always come out looking like a leaf at first. Sometimes it's just a weird little stem that looks like something went wrong. So just be patient. Do a little research if you're unfamiliar with the plant before you take some shears to it or scissors, because you can set them back and do some real damage. So thank you for watching, and hope you got a little bit out of this video.